Hello and welcome back to Stop and Go F1 with this special emergency news video. Nyck de Vries is out. Daniel Ricciardo is in. This is the news came out a couple hours ago that after 10 races with the AlphaTauri team, Nyck de Vries' Formula One career is over. And in his place comes Daniel Ricciardo, who of course has been the third driver for the Red Bull Racing team for this season after being let go by the McLaren team at the end of last season. Well, we can't say that we're not necessarily surprised by the news coming out here today. We've all kind of thought for a while that Nyck de Vries' career may be coming to an end. I'm a bit surprised that it's happened now. The British Grand Prix was just a couple days ago. We've got the Hungarian Grand Prix coming up a week on Sunday. And in that race, it will be Daniel Ricciardo racing in the second AlphaTauri seat. As I said, we all kind of expected Nyck de Vries' career to be over soon. Personally, I was expecting it to be over the summer break, to the extent that I've been working on a video about Nyck de Vries' career and does he deserve to keep his seat or not, that I was expecting to release over the summer break. I'm now going to have to change that and hopefully maybe have it out for this weekend. So subscribe for that because it might be out this weekend. We'll wait and see. But the main questions around this is this really fair on Nyck de Vries? Personally, I don't think it is. As much as you can say, yeah, he's been having a bad season, I really just think he's been having a rookie season. He's not been as good as his teammate, but which rookie is? I mean, if you, because I've been doing this research for this video, out of the last 10 rookies that we've had, full-time rookies that we've had, out of the last 10, there has only been one who was ahead of their teammate in the points by the 10th race of the year, and that was Charles Leclerc. So if Nyck de Vries' crime is not being as good as Charles Leclerc, then yes, he is guilty of that. Why has this happened? As I said, I'll get more into it into the video that'll come out later on, but I think the main reason is Sergio Perez. He has been underperforming in the Red Bull, and when Red Bull need to get rid of a driver, they look to AlphaTauri. And right now in AlphaTauri, there are two drivers in Nyck de Vries and Yuki Tsunoda, two drivers who aren't ready to go into the Red Bull seat. So they need to get rid of one of them. And the worst performing is Nyck, so Nyck had to go. I think Ricciardo now in that AlphaTauri is really there to put a fire underneath Checo's arse now to go, look, if you don't perform, this guy's right here, and we can move him in whenever we need to. There will of course be the discussion of, is Ricciardo the right choice over someone like Liam Lawson? Now, Liam Lawson is a fantastic driver, doing really well in Super Formula right now, but I don't think he'll be the right choice to put in the AlphaTauri right now. If you're going to have to put a driver in mid-season, it makes much more sense to have a driver with F1 experience than a driver like Liam Lawson, who is fantastic, but is 3 months behind everyone else in a car that he's never driven. He might step foot into that car and do really well. He may also step foot into that car and do really badly. His confidence is shook, and then his F1 career could be over before it's even begun. Putting someone like Ricciardo in the car, who has got F1 experience, will be much more comfortable in the car, is the better choice, I feel, especially at this point in the season. But as I said, I think this is all really about Sergio Perez. What's happened today then? Why today? Well, this morning, Daniel Ricciardo had his tyre test. He was doing, as the third driver for the Red Bull Racing team, testing out the new C5, C6, whatever it is, tyres for Pirelli in the 2023 Red Bull car. And whilst he was going around, of course, Red Bull team are also collecting data. It's not just the Pirelli team. And apparently the lap times are very good. We don't know what those lap times are, and I don't think we ever will find out what those lap times are. But the rumours coming out is that if Daniel Ricciardo had set that lap time in qualifying on Saturday, it would have been a Red Bull front row lockout, Max Verstappen followed by Daniel Ricciardo, who would have beaten Lando Norris. And as we know, in actual qualifying on Saturday, Sergio Perez couldn't even make it out of Q1. His fifth time in a row not making through to Q3. So, as I said, once again, this is less about Nyck and it's all about Checo. What else is there really to say? Not much at this time. I'm looking forward to seeing what Ricciardo can do. Between Ricciardo and Yuki, that I think is going to be really interesting. Yuki's been getting a lot of praise this year. Rightfully or wrongfully, has been getting a lot of praise. Been putting in some good performances with that AlphaTauri, which, as we all know, isn't very good. But a big question that I've had over him this entire season is Yuki driving well? Is Yuki driving really well? Or is Yuki driving about okay and Nyck de Vries is a rookie and isn't very good? And I think it may fall into that category. And what we might see with Ricciardo, who has much more experience, he may come into the car and do really well out the gate and actually show us that these performances that Yuki have been putting in really haven't been up to scratch, which is what we saw with Yuki when he was paired with Pierre Gasly. Of course, just because Ricciardo's in the car doesn't mean he's going to do well. We saw it in McLaren. When the car's not agreeing with him, he's not going to deliver the best results in the world. His 2 seasons at McLaren were really, really disappointing. But I'm hoping that what we get to see is a return to form Ricciardo that we saw in the likes of Red Bull and Renault as well. He did well in Renault. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting for the Hungarian Grand Prix when we see Ricciardo versus Yuki. This is all very exciting. You know what, I'd enjoy it even more if I didn't really like Sergio Perez. But if you're not really a fan of anyone in the Red Bull team, I imagine you're enjoying this drama an awful lot because it is very, very spicy. So as I said, make sure you subscribe to the channel because on Friday we've got a very special video coming out which has got nothing to do with this Red Bull drama, but it's something I've been working on for a while, which I hope you will enjoy. And hopefully this weekend, maybe towards the start of next week, I'll have this Nyck de Vries retrospective thing done. We can dive into that a bit more in detail. So make sure you subscribe for both of them. Then, of course, we'll be back for Hungary, a race which I'll actually be at. I've never been to an F1 race before, but I will be at the Hungarian Grand Prix. I'm not entirely sure what that will mean in terms of videos that I'll produce on the actual weekend itself, but I'll be making some stuff for you. So even if it's not on the Hungarian weekend itself, there'll be some interesting videos about what it's like up front, live, all that kind of stuff. That'll be on the channel at some point. So, join in the fun that is the Stop and Go F1 channel. Yeah. Okay, I'll end the video now. Make sure to let me know what your thoughts are on this. Do you think Nyck de Vries was hard done by? Do you think Ricciardo is the right guy? How do you think Ricciardo is going to compare against Yuki? Can Sergio Perez turn this season around, even though he still is second in the driver's standings and we're saying he's had a bad year? It's all very confusing. But that's all we've got time for now. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.